Hi guys, this is Vineet, and in this video we will discuss about how you can manage suspect pages table in SQL Server. So this slide also states our belief, which is time is very important for everyone, and we believe that everyone should gather essential skills and quality education in least amount of time. That is our belief. And let's go back to the next slide. Go to the next slide. So before we proceed ahead, I would request you guys to please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Now, why should you subscribe to my channel? You can subscribe in order to learn the quality SQL stuff in short amount of time. You can go through SQL demos. You will be able to focus on the point practical stuff with SQL Server. And if you have less time reading books, you can definitely subscribe to my channel. And if you're preparing for an interview in a short and want to do that in a short amount of time, then yeah, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And to get regular updates regarding my upcoming videos, please subscribe to my channel. I'm giving you a minute to go through this disclaimer. Basically, this states that all of the practical should be done in a test environment on the test servers and not on the production environment involving production databases. So please go through it, take a minute. I'm moving ahead. You can pause the video and go through the disclaimer. And there are some parts to remember. I would request you guys to please watch video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept. If possible, please watch each video twice to gain better understanding. And do the exercises in your test environment. And we would like to know your thoughts regarding the video, so please share comments with us. Now let's go back to our topic, which is how you can manage suspect pages table in SQL Server. Now let's go back to notes. So earlier we had recorded one of the videos on the suspect pages table where we had corrupted one of the pages of our database file and try to restore that particular database page. So basically when a page is corrupt inside a particular database or database file, that entry gets recorded in the suspect pages table. So let's go through the theory. So suspect pages table is used for maintaining information about the suspected pages, the pages which are corrupt. Apart from other items as well, the restored pages as well it contains, but majorly it is used to store the pages, information regarding the pages that are corrupt. And this table is relevant in helping to decide whether a restore is necessary. So basically we look at this table to determine whether a page restore is required or not. You may watch one of my other videos. I will include the link in the description for that table, how to perform a restore of a suspect page. And this table resides in the MSDB database. And let me show you this table quickly in the SQL Server. So I'm opening up SQL Server Management Studio, waiting for it to open. So once it opens, I will show you. So let's connect to the database, local instance, expand on databases. So this database is, this particular table resides under the MSDB database. So select an MSDB database and create a new query and type in along with me. Select star from suspect pages is the table name. So this is the table. So right now it does not contain any entry, so there are no page corruptions encountered so far. Now let's go through more theory part. So a page is considered as a suspect when SQL Server encounters one of the following errors when it tries to read a database. So whenever a SQL Server tries to read a database, and if it encounters any of the error with the pages, it posts the entry for those pages in the suspect pages table. So there are various type of error that can be encountered by the SQL Server during the page read. It can be an 823 error, it can be an 824 error. Now let us read more about them. So what is an 823 error? 823 were caused by cyclic redundancy check issues by the operating system. So whenever our operating system performs a cyclic redundancy check on the hard disk, such as uh, at that time it may encounter a page read error. So that can be contributed to disk errors or certain hardware errors. So 823 error was caused by CRC checks issued by operating systems such as disk error or certain hardware error. And another type of error can be 824 error such as a torn page. We will discuss about torn page later. Any logical error with which basically denotes any logical error within a page. So that is known as a torn page error. So whenever a 824 error is encountered, an entry is made within the suspect pages table. And now the page ID of every suspect pages is recorded in the suspected pages table. So if we take a look at the database, so there's a page ID, the third column, this one. So that gets recorded in this table basically. And this basically also indicate to us which particular page to restore. So basically there's a combination of database ID, file ID and page ID. These three combinations we restore. So let's go back to the notes. So the page ID of every suspect page is recorded in the suspect pages table. The database engine records any suspected pages encountered during the regular processing, such as the following. So first we talked about how operating system performs cyclic redundancy check, and if during those checks it encounters any if SQL Server encounters any disk error or certain hardware, mark those pages as suspect pages. Another type of operations performed by SQL Server, which allows entries of suspected pages to be made within the suspect page table. Whenever we are running a query to read a page that is corrupt, if SQL Server finds that page corrupt, it posts the entry in the suspect pages table. And whenever we perform the DBCC check DB operation, which basically checks the database for any consistency errors, at that time, if any page errors are recorded, those are recorded within the suspect pages table. And while performing a backup operation, that can also be checked whether there are any suspect pages. The suspect page table is also updated as necessary during the restore operation. So whenever we perform a restore operation as well, this table gets updated. So basically there is an entry which marked to show that this particular page is restored. Earlier it was corrupt, but now it is restored. And whenever a DBCC repair operation or a drop database operation runs, the entries in the suspect page table gets updated. So let's talk more about theory part. And suspect pages contain one row per page that failed with 823 or 824 error. So there's a single entry per page ID. And the limit of this table is up to, it can contain up to 1000 rows. And the below table shows the error description of each event type. So there are various types of event types. So event type is also a column in the, if you look at the fourth column, which basically indicates the event type, and that basically denotes the type of error encountered. And let's go back to the notes. So let's go through each of the errors. So the first error has the event ID type of 1, which basically indicates an 823 error caused by operating system CRC error or 824 error, other than a bad checksum or a torn page, for example, a bad page ID. So any 823 error caused by operating system CRC error checks, and 824 errors other than a bad checksum or a torn page error, it recorded as event type ID 1. And if there is a bad checksum, the event ID of that error is 2. And if there is a torn page, the event type for that type of error is 3. And if we restore any of the pages that are corrupt, those are marked with event ID 4. So any of the pages that are restored, the page was restored after it was marked bad. So those entries are updated to 4, which are restored. And if any of the pages are repaired using the DBCC repair option, those pages are marked with event ID 5. And if any of the pages is deallocated by the DBCC, those are marked with event ID 7. And this table also stores the transient errors like IO errors, cable disconnected, or the page that temporarily fails, repeated checksum test. Now let's talk about next topic, which is how suspect pages table is updated. How is it updated? Um, we shown you some of the examples when these pages get updated, possibly during a page restore operation or DBCC check DB repair operation. Let's see what all our actions or event occurs when this table gets updated. So let's go through this. Okay, if a table is not null, it is updated for every 8 to 4 error. So if a table is not null, it was not null, but yeah, instead of null, I should have said full. So if a table is not full, which is basically 1000 rows in a table, which makes the table full, particularly this table, I'm not talking about the other table. So when this table is not full, it is updated for every 8 to 4 error, indicating that error has occurred and the error counter is incremented. So the track for 1000 errors is made during the error counter, which is there in the database itself. So an entry is made for each 8 to 4 error until the count of the rows reaches 1000 rows. After the page is fixed by repair or restore operation, though this operation updates suspect pages row to indicate that pages is repaired event ID 5, or if the pages are restored, those are marked with event ID type. That is event type basically, which holds the event IDs. So if we see a event ID 5, which basically indicates that pages are repaired, or if the page repaired using the DBCC repair operation, or whenever the page is restored, it is marked with the event type ID, for we discussed that earlier a few minutes back. Now, whenever we run the DBCC check repair, so how the DBCC repair is performed, we basically, or how can we check if a database is fine or not? We use the DBCC check DB command, and along with the option repair reload data loss. So whenever we run this option, it repairs the database and it allows for data loss, and it also checks the database for any consistency errors, and it updates the suspected pages table to indicate each page that is deallocated or repaired. Alright, so any pages that are deallocated during this operation, it gets tracked within the suspect pages table, or if any of the pages are repaired, those are also tracked within this table. And whenever we do a full file or page restore, it marks the entries as restored. The following action automatically delete rows from the suspected pages table. So here we are talking about automatic removal of rows from the suspect pages table. So when those automatic operation occurs, whenever we perform the alter database remove file command, whenever we perform this command, the row gets removed, and whenever we drop the database, the rows gets moved. And basically, let's talk about whose responsibility is to manage the suspected pages table. It is basically database administrators that are responsible for managing this table, and primarily also by deleting the old rows data. So database administrators manage this table. And how do they manage this table? Basically what they do is they delete the older rows that are not required. This table is limited in size, and if filled, new errors will not be logged. So the size is like 1000 rows. So clearing and archiving the old entries periodically from this table is required. Archiving means moving the entries from this table to some other table. That is known as archiving. And clearing and archiving operation of the old entries is periodically done on this table, and it's a requirement as well that happen event type of ID of restore or repair. So any events that have an event type ID of 4 or 5, the responsibility of database administrator is to move or delete those entries from this table, the suspect pages table, that are quite old. And it also includes rows that have an old last update value. Those are also get archived. And to monitor the activity in this table, database suspect data page event class can be used. If you want to perform the automatic monitoring of activity on this table, an event type ID of database suspect database event class can be used. So that class contains a particular event ID which can be used to track the activity on this table. If many rows are being added to the table, so if we see event multiple rows are suddenly added to this table, that particularly indicates a problem exists with the IO subsystem. So that indicates the probability of the problem with the IO subsystem. If we see immediate surge of errors in this particular table, so the table is suspect pages table. So demo, nothing much to show. So this is the table. This is one of the commands you can run to check the table. Another command can be delete from this table. So delete from suspect pages table, where we perform the condition like where event type is certain is equal to 4 or 5, whatever. We perform these kind of operations. We by we means the database administrator perform these kind of operations. Right now the table has no entry, so there's nothing much we can do. Please go through one of my earlier videos on the suspect pages table where we had shown you how you can restore the bad pages. That is a very useful video. And in order to select particular pages, you can also run the command select star from suspect pages table, and you can basically indicate an event type ID. You can mention the in keyword and give 1 2 3 as event type ID, which was indicated in this table to get a particular entry. If you want to looking for pages that have bad checksum, or even if you are looking for a torn page or any CRC errors, you can run this command to see that. Right now there are no rows in this table, so entries will not come. So these are basically example of some of the commands used by the database administrators to manage this table. So guys, we are done with this video. In our next video, we will talk about let's see, the next topic we will cover is backup and restore consideration. We will go through that. And this topic is not complete yet, so possibly we will go to the database design. There are some videos that needs to be completed, so we'll go through that. For now, let's come back to a topic, which was how to manage the suspected pages table in SQL Server. This topic is now completed. Please go through this video once again if you want to gain better clarity, and I thank you once again for your time. Please do subscribe to my channel. There are various points to be gone through before subscribing to this channel. So these points are basically useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends, and also like this video if you really like this video. And uh, for now, I'm leaving. Have a nice day ahead. Bye bye.